Hello, I hope that you are doing well today. My name is Kira, and I use my clairvoyant gifts and amongst other things to bring to you earth shifts as the way that I perceive them. So just in short, for the last 16 years, I have been opened up to see. So we call it clairvoyance, but this is a little bit beyond that. This is actually tapping into the quantum field of our multidimensional or interdimensional realities. And I make these videos so that way this assists you on your path in your ascension process, and also so that way you know how to navigate these frequencies as they're coming in to help you integrate and release and rejuvenate, so that way you can keep on making those little steps forward to embody your soul and higher self. In this video, I am going to be talking about the divine responsibility that we essentially have chosen to, excuse me as I make these adjustments, the divine responsibility and the path that we have chosen together to take responsibility for our co-creative, not only our abilities, but putting to action exactly what we said we would do. Okay, so a lot of what I've been speaking about this year is 2019 is the year of the soul, the year where, you know, everything just kind of comes undone. One of my last videos, I spoke about the earth history being purged and cleansed, and that moves through us. That also involves our soul earth memory. Okay, those fields, those quantum fields of memory being released and healed. So with every purge, there's also a replacement. Okay, it's not a hole, it's not a void. Something comes in to fill that place. Now we have the choice on what we are bringing in. So practicing mindfulness and taking ownership and responsibility for using your awareness as an awakened, or going through some sort of spiritual awakening, using this knowledge and awareness that you have to steer your life in the direction, but not only you, because it's not only about you, it's about us, it's about the whole, it's about remembering and also choosing actions in a way that connect us. Either, you know, we're either choosing to connect or we're choosing to divide. We're choosing to connect or we're choosing to divide. What are you participating in, and what are you upholding? So really the breakdown here for the next couple of months is this release of the densities. And when I say dense, I mean dense, the icky, behind the scenes, closet shadow spaces of the ways that we have been participating in these lower elements of consciousness. They're coming up, okay? They're purging. And we're going to be seeing a lot of shifts in power. And I mean that in the individual, in the soul, as well as the collective consciousness. Now, I'm going to share with you what I've been seeing outside of the plasma energy and all of that. This has more to do, excuse me as I get my markers. This has more to do with what I have been seeing the last couple of weeks here, as I have been a little quiet with you guys. There are these membranes, if you will, that have been covering us. And I've been seeing the earth make her way and gravitate up. Okay, so what does that mean? A lot of you guys have reached out to me and asked, you know, what's going on. So there's been an expansion happening in the vibratory earth field. Okay, so literally like a lightning. Okay, as well as, and you guys, I'm going to keep on saying this, I'm not a scientist, I'm just sharing what I'm seeing. And with that, that is creating more room to breathe, more room to absorb, more room to remember, more room to connect, and more room to purge. And as this has been happening, this energy has been shooting out of our planet, and we've also been receiving. Okay, so the way that I've been seeing, okay, so now this black is going to be, I've been seeing this energy from, I'm going to turn this way, from right above the planet Neptune. So I'm just going to be, this is going to be Neptune. And this is something that, how do I want to say this? Artificial. It's intelligent. It is holding space for us to keep on making these shifts in the earth plane up. Okay, up. When I say up, I mean into higher dimensional frequencies. And I've been seeing this space, like this activated space right above Neptune. Now, something that I want to talk to you guys about that, you know, I don't know if anyone else is talking about. I don't know. I just kind of pay attention to my own connection. That's what I feel like we're called to do. So it's not just the earth that is going through these shifts. It's our entire star system, okay, our solar system, all of the life in expanding in this star system. And so when I see these activations, I think I had done another video where I was telling you guys I was seeing this energy right around Venus happening. Each planet has its own purity, right? It's purity, the original signature, and how this was created or intended to vibrate through the through the universe, I guess. And so what I'm seeing is, you know, naturally, because we're earthlings, we're earthbound beings, what I'd like to share with you guys, and yeah, it sounds really freaking nuts and out there, right? But when I'm seeing this energy happen, it's stimulating all of the planets, right? But then I'm seeing all of the planets kind of go through this dimensional shift like we are. And there's almost like a homecoming, a return of our entire star system into this space. I can't really, it's very challenging to put words to it, but it's like a homecoming. It's like a return. It's very soft. It's very beautiful. Our star system has been influenced by other intelligence, and so we're experiencing a cleansing here, and this cleansing is not just the earth history cleansing. This is a cosmic cleansing as well. And so that's the thing that I want to talk about today, is because, well, first of all, I don't know if anyone's talking about it or if they're aware of it, but we might be sensing a different relationship to the stars than we have in the past. Now, again, I'm not an astrologer. I do recommend you tap into Raquel Spring, but people who are called to be an astrologer are astrologers might start noticing that there are different aspects to the planets and their influence on us. That is what I am sensing and feeling. And if you feel called to share this video, connect the dots with maybe other astrologers. Maybe that's something that that community can, go to the drawing board and bounce off of one another. Or if you're an astrologer watching this, that might be something for you to explore. And so I'm seeing this pulse above Neptune. So what that means for us is that is affecting the masculine energy on the planet. Okay, and that's what I wanted to reiterate to you guys. So I'm seeing it come in the way that it's stimulating the I want to say growth cycles. This is like vegetation, but at the same time, there's some sort of influence to do here in how the masculine spirit, which is really exciting, is going to be responding in a way that is purifying. It's very forceful, but forceful in a way to where there's like this cry out to where, maybe not only the men, but the masculine aspects and the women too. There's just like this switch that happens in our communities and our society to where it's like, okay, there's been something dormant here, and there's some sort of play going on between the Earth and Neptune in the masculine body. And again, I'm not an astrologer, but this is just how I see it. So Neptune, and then there's this, I'm just kind of seeing this energy swirl above Neptune, and it's influencing Neptune, which therefore is influencing us. And you guys remember, the stars are connected. The energetic networks in the cosmos are also interwoven with us. There's no separation. Just because that is way up there and we're way down here doesn't mean that the influence is that far away. So that's what I am perceiving here, and again, it's these this intelligence. There's going to be some sort of like I said, a homecoming and a reunion in the essential design of each of these planets when they were first created or came into being. So there's a massive purge that's happening. And so I'd like to draw a little diagram on how I'm seeing this. It's so very interesting. So again, you guys will see me. Here's the central sun. Here's our sun, right? And let's just do this little green dot is Earth. I'm going to come over here. Let's just pretend that okay, so like here's the belt, asteroid belt, and then over here is Pluto, and then, you know, everything else in between. I'm also seeing, we'll use a different color. You guys know I'm drawing on one plane, and it's hard because when I see it, it's more like spherical or like a hologram in a way. So over here, so here's Pluto, and then there's like this other side, okay? So this other side is hollowing out in a way. So there's all of this, it's beautiful, it's nourishing. Over here, in essence, it feels very feminine to me. And like there's this rush on this side where it's just kind of coming through everywhere. So it's not just the you know, this plasma energy and everything coming from the central sun and our sun that's affecting the planet Earth. We're kind of getting bombarded from all of these other areas. Here's Neptune, and here's this kind of influence over here, which is beaming us right now. Simultaneously, I'm also aware of there's this vacuum, okay? There's an uplift that is kind of like pulling, it's like sucking everything up. So, you know, those of you who do energy work, or you know, those of us who are, you know, trying to release this stuff, this energy has to go somewhere. And I'm seeing that this, you know, this type of vacuum started at the end of January and the beginning of February, and that's why some of us kind of really got rocked. This influence across time and space was the initial stimulator for some of these quantum leaps, and meaning the synchronization that we were experiencing and that we will be experiencing. So I know that this is like all over the place, kind of crazy to kind of think about and perceive. It's way out there, because it's like, okay, well, how do I trust this chick and her crazy visions, right? What the hell does this mean? It's really simple. We are stuck on a rock, spinning in space, trying to make do with what we've got through our life experience. It's really that simple. We're emotional beings, we're multidimensional beings, and we're remembering. And the information that's coming to me is just to communicate to everybody as much as possible that, you know, it's not only the Earth that's cleansing. It's our entire star system. All of the matter is speeding up. Remember, when matter speeds up, there's a generation of heat. So our planet's heating up, and to me, it's a natural occurrence because of the dimensional shifts. Life is a little bit different. It's very fast, right? So with the influences, the last video I made is there's been a purging of Earth history. Now this Earth history is also shifting with our cosmic history that's been held in the star system. So this is going to be meaning a couple of things. So many of you guys watching this, you might be familiar with the term like divine downloads or activation, and you know, it's activate. Yes. But we're going to be experiencing, you know, there's a lot of uncharted territory here, which is exciting because we get to be the ones to experience this, but we are also responsible for doing something with it, not just being rocked and reacting to it. It's, you know, there's going to be something that awakens in all of us. We've been preparing for this, you know, not only at the soul level, but we've been preparing for it in this life. So how I'm seeing that is in the middle of March to June is when the ones that have been doing the footwork, we're going to be going through waves of this activation. So this is going to be, check out my video called the Starseed Network. So let's just say the first is going to be the star seeds, and I'm going to just identify these people as the crystal children, the rainbow children, the indigos, the blue rays, violet rays, all these, you know, terms of people at the soul level who have been bridging consciousness. Okay, that's what they have been doing. That's what we've been doing, and they came in with codes to go through and kind of like, I like to use this example. Pretend you're like downloading an app on your phone, and these individuals are just in the quantum field pulsating these these codes, these I'm trying to think of the word. Well, you guys know what I'm saying. They're just emitting these frequencies off of them. So most of the star seeds are going to be finishing their activations and what they came to do. Secondary, you're going to have the third dimension. It's going to get rocked even more. So as we're working through our Earth and cosmic history cleansing, the third and aspects of the fourth dimension. Now I want to remind you, the fourth dimension is your dream time. The fourth dimension is more of your linear time space matrix here. The fourth dimension, we're gonna go through a period of, through this timeline, from what I'm seeing, of it's kind of like a whirlwind, but a good one. It's a good one. All right, it's a good whirlwind. So I'm just going to put fourth whirlwind. Woo. And this is going to be allowing us to rise up. So these are the people, you know, we're going to see a lot of our women, a lot of the women who have been doing the inner work in the feminine consciousness rise up. And I want to remind you, this is not like this, I'm better than you, I'm better than the men stuff. No, it's restoring balance, and that's through the feminine essence. It's not this, it's not angry. Same with the men. The men, our men are going to be rising up as well in a way. So it's like, okay, there's been an element of the sacred masculine that hasn't been able to express himself, and he's like, wow, I want to give, I want to you know, be active in restoration. So we're going to have a lot of these. Now this is more subtle, okay, a lot of these subtleties, the subtle stirrings in these feminine masculine spaces in the fourth dimension. Okay, so there's going to be a crossover here between more we've mostly worked through a lot of the masculine feminine wounds. Okay, now it just comes down to the action. How are we going to work together? Men, brothers, how are you going to start showing up for one another? Women, ladies, how are we going to start connecting even deeper? So there's an element to our brotherhood and our sisterhood where we're really called to engage with one another in a way that has been lost, where some of us have been trying to connect the dots here. So even more, you know, we're going to start seeing more feminine sisterhood circles in men too. And that's naturally going to start helping us remember that ancient earth activation that's coming up for us, okay? Harmony, peace. Remember, when the divine masculine feminine is coming together, that's when we essentially receive the openings towards the unity consciousness, which is the fifth dimensional consciousness that we are gravitating towards if we choose. Okay, now this is where some of you guys might, respond and say, Kira, whatever, you're full of it. Okay. This is where we really are going to be pushed to the next level of forgiveness. Okay. And lying down our egos and really showing up for one another in a way that is that's forgiving. We get to be the teachers to one another of showing unconditional love, showing what that means, being an example. Many people, when they start their spiritual awakening, there's so much like, oh my gosh, I feel this way. I want everybody to feel like that. I want to go teach and share this with the world, which is beautiful. But the way that we do this is by creating more connection and not like shaming one another. So creating, that shift in our communities and doing it in a way that is, we have to pay more attention to these connections, the unity connections, what connects us, rather than saying, oh, there's this issue. I'm not saying sweep it under the rug. I'm not saying bypass everything, but I'm also saying, allow ourselves to connect the dots to where we stimulate so much of that higher vibration that this third dimension and aspects of the fourth just naturally bottom out. We don't really have to do anything, and that's the switch here from the third to the fifth, is we think that I gotta do, when it's more, vibe it out, but vibe it out in a way to where you're creating the new paradigm. And this is what we're going to be learning and practicing together. So February, again, we experienced a lot of those synchronizations, and that's showing up for us in that way. And we're going to be seeing a lot of our teachers come through, a lot of different teachers, things, I cannot reiterate this enough, to lean into your own intuition, into your own resonance of what is true for you in that day. Sometimes you're vibing with a teacher, sometimes you're not, and that's okay. And sometimes you're the teacher that needs to step forward. So own where you're at. If you're one of these, I drew these arrows. Let's define it a little bit deeper. If you're some of these men and women that feel called to create connection in your community, start doing that. That is what we need to be focusing on right now. Not entertaining the dramas of the fourth and third dimension, but entertaining, okay, doing your own inner work, putting to practice every single day, and however that means for you, and knowing, when we go through maybe a mental, emotional, spiritual hiccup, we need to remember that there's all this stuff going outside of what our day-to-day routine, and vibrationally we keep on expanding and contracting naturally from these cosmic frequencies. Now, one of there is a focus at times to focus on the, especially if you're starting your spiritual awakening and whatever that means to you, we gravitate in living more in the upper chakra system. Okay, and remember, you guys, like, we have an infinite amount of chakras, and if I get enough response from you guys and say, hey, Kira, yeah, because I see other chakras and other colors that we really don't have a name for, and all these activations going on in the auric field, and a switch in the auric field. There's just so much I'd like to share with you guys. If you have questions about how you can start mastering your energy field, I might run a class if I get enough response back from you. Just reach out to me if I get enough response. We could go through that. But what I would like to give to you today are some tools in, remembering that the chakra system is an internal communication system, and it's an intelligence in a science of its own. And, while stimulating one chakra space for release is great, you have the power to create and clear your own. So if you're like, let's say, you're working on your third eye, start becoming aware of the clarity of the third eye space, and replace. It's just a memory field. Okay, a lot of people can get hung up, like, more of that masculine energy has to be and look and act a certain way. It's different for everybody. I want to remind you guys to keep on connecting also into the lower plane, the lower energy field, because this is really where it's happening here, is the expansion in the earth plane, in how she is going to be pushing up her information to us. So while it's awesome to live life up here, I did that for most of my life, so I get it. It's really comfortable. It's really fluffy. It's very nice feeling to hang out in the upper level chakras and kind of neglect these lower spaces. So I want to remind you guys to keep on connecting your entire energy field, because where it's happening for us is really in expanding, but learning how to work with the earth plane. Okay, we've been doing a lot. This is actually homework for a lot of you star seeds too, is bringing that cosmic energy down into the earth plane. Okay, we've been doing a lot of work over the years in pulling up all this cosmic stuff and this cosmic consciousness. Now it's time to start pulling it down into the earth plane. Okay, so some of the ways that you can do that is, first and foremost, just go barefoot. All right, just start connecting that way. There's so many health benefits to that. Secondary is going to be listening to music that grounds you. I highly recommend you go to newlifefrequencies.com. The gentleman, the artist, he goes by John Bass Live. He is someone who makes beautiful music for you to keep on navigating these frequencies, and not just like hang out and stimulate one area or one spectrum of consciousness here that you're available to, but his music really helps you through these shifts. So that's the second recommendation that I have. And the third is going to be working with gazing. Okay, so what I mean by that is using your vision, your eyes, as a tool to make the conscious connection to bringing your energy down And just practice bringing your eyes. So my eyes are on the horizon right now. Bring them down, letting your awareness go down into the hips, through the legs, to the feet. So letting your focus really be on the ground, in the earth plane, grounding as much as you can. And I don't mean grounding in the way to where you're just activating your root chakra or going and hugging a tree or anything like that. Those are great practices. I mean, like, just becoming aware of the earth below you and creating that connection again with the earth mother. Okay, there are very many different ways that you can do this, because she is going to be, again, sending more energy up. Some of you guys are going to feel this through a rise in your sexual energy. Some of you guys are going to be purging, again, your earth history, your cosmic earth history. There's a lot going on here, and a lot that doesn't meet the eye. So the ways that you can gain stability is always going to be resting, okay? Resting as much as possible, but being active as well. So a lot of us are breaking away from the old ways of being, and we're like, okay, so how do we navigate that? How do we go to work and do this? How do I raise my family and still take care and nurture myself? So remember that the fast gravitational pulls to the fourth and fifth dimension are when you flip the scripts, okay? Flip the script. So what do I mean by that? Flip your inner dialogue and how you're approaching a situation. So putting yourself first is going to be essential. And that is a challenge for many of us. That's something ingrained in our, and in essentially our collective consciousness, that putting yourself first is something selfish. And not only that, it's only for the people in power. That's something that maybe the royals do, however we want to think about it. And when we slow down, we actually speed up. So allowing yourself to slow down and become aware of what might be coming to the surface for you. Because these energies, they're going to be making their way out of you. You can't really get away from what you are. So let me draw a little bit. You're putting off all of these energies, right? Let's just say you know, like if you throw a rock in a still pond or something, you see the ripples. Well, our energy field keeps doing that. So you can either constrict or you can expand. And I recommend expanding because that expansion is going to keep on helping you not only stop the cycles that you've been in, not stop in a way that it's like, oh, I don't want to feel this anymore, but stop in the way that you've transcended these cycles. And these memories, so these little blue lines are going to be memories, okay? This is memories in your human experience, memories in the collective consciousness, and in the cosmic consciousness too. And they're a part of you. You can't get away from it, but you can transcend it. And you're going to be asked on a total different level to get on board even more. So rest is going to be your best friend, because we're getting hit with so much, and all of us are just transcending all of this. And I'm just gonna talk about this real quick because that's my specialty. That's how I work with people. It's one of my specialties. I actually see the memories. I can feel and palpate the memories, these memory fields. So myself and other people who were born to do this healing work, and all of these teachers or people who do this work, we all work different. But when you get vibrational tuning, I suggest sound healing. Again, go to New Life Frequencies and working with a very skilled energy worker, okay? If you're on this path and you want to keep clearing. And if you have, you know, gone inward enough to where you're like, okay, I can keep on transcending this, meditation and meditation can clear your blueprints too, the practice of yoga. And I don't mean just practicing physical postures, the practice of yoga union is going to be a way for you to dive into this as well. But it doesn't matter because everything is stimulating this release. So we're going to be feeling a lot. That's why I'm asking you guys, you know, we're all going to be going through this. Forgiveness, forgiving one another is going to be key. Some of us are going to have some conversations. We're going to keep on going through these splits in consciousness. We come back, split in consciousness, come back. That is all I'm going to leave you guys with this video. So just to recap, there's a masculine stimulation that's coming through from Neptune. We're basically being bombarded, and so all of this memory from the star system and the earth is purging up, ground down. Use some of the subtle practices that I shared in this video. Definitely get connected with new life frequencies. Reach out and learn. You know, going inward is going to be your best teacher, and sometimes going inward is actually going to be helping you gravitate towards someone to learn from. So, you know, use the people who have walked before you. Everything's a mirror. So if you see someone outside of you, it's like, wow, I feel really pulled to work with that person, or I feel very called to learn and engage with this individual, and ask yourself, what can I learn here? Or simultaneously, if you're sitting on something where it's like, wow, I really have a lot to teach, and there's so much that wants to come out with me, please do. Please start showing up. Remember the masculine, the sacred masculine, the sacred feminine. We've done a lot of that inner work. Everything's going to keep on propelling itself and rolling itself over. So definitely allow your path to unfold. No more resisting. No more resisting the path you're on. Own it. You're a badass. You're made for this beauty and this connection. We need your participation. That's all I've got for you today. See you soon. And please subscribe. I have a Facebook group. It's called Ascension for the Modern Mystic. And this is a community space where we share and support one another in our spiritual awakening.